Multiplayer is not my scene, especially entirely team-based games. The idea of relying on other people's cooperation for success is one I've been acerbic to for a long time. High school will do that to you. But I was vaguely interested in this game, the way it kinda mirrored the once balanced gameplay of Team Fortress 2, a game I used to put a fair bit of time into. But really I bought it because I wanted to be one of the cool kids. So here I am about to enter my first match, and I just picked the prettiest character of the bunch, ready to lose.
Play of the game.
This game's not so bad. This game's not so bad. Alright, tune in next week for when I talk about Battleborn. Actually, no, I don't care about Battleborn. And I'm not done with Overwatch just yet. Though that bait and switch isn't just some poor attempt at comedic timing. One of my ethoses into making these things is to bring new dialogue to the table each time. That means I'm not going to review every game I play. For example, even though I played a lot of it, I didn't put out a review for Superhot because it's pretty well spoken for. And I mean, with Overwatch, what is left to actually say about it? I mean, I could say it's the most fun I've had in multiplayer in a long time, including the many hours I've sunk into Rock Band, and that it legitimately distracted me for a solid week, but what sort of critical salience would those statements have? They don't actually tell you about Overwatch. Well, I guess I have a few points of notice I can level with you. And notice how I'm saying you and not everyone, because feigning personal connection is the best. What I think separates Overwatch from many other games like it is that it has a pick up and play mentality, but also lots of play variety. In terms of shooting, Halo is most my speed, but even the later games with their over-designed loadouts never did much to shake things up, which made it a pretty tired series. On the flip side, one game my friends desperately tried to get me into was Dota 2, which had an impressively huge cast of characters and a deep tactical pool, but an insanely high skill ceiling. From the outside looking in, it is legitimately one of the most demanding games I have ever sampled. Overwatch sits right in the middle. There are lots of characters, but most play off each other in natural ways, and it's easy to jump in and get an idea of your role. And although maximising your skill and strategy will obviously be a ways off, I appreciate how even the simplest seeming teams can get the job done. Of course, some players will just throw team composition out the window, but we'll get to that in a bit. But the fact I was able to pick a sniper character and feel like I was contributing in my very first match and get play of the game is testament to the lack of roadblock that these games usually have. As I said, the only really comparable game is Team Fortress 2, but that game's skill ceiling climbed higher than I could keep up with the new weapons that just kept pouring in when I was just like, guys, less is more. Overwatch doesn't have that problem unless I'm playing as Genji, and even then it's only because I'm using a controller. Before you complain, if you saw my setup, you would understand. What's more difficult to understand is quite why this game just took off. Plenty of games have universal appeal, but this year's been kind of lax, and this is the first to completely dominate the dialogue the month it came out. And I guess my question would be, why? Why this game in particular? The good difficulty curve is one reason, but I think I would have to give it to the sense of epic scale in a round-based multiplayer game featuring wonderfully varied yet grounded character design, the sort of thing only Blizzard has really been able to provide. I mean, think about it, Warcraft is still a franchise with enough clout that it only just got a movie adaptation, even though, could anyone tell you what the plot of Warcraft is beyond orcs fighting humans? Overwatch has a very thick backstory on the world and its characters, but both are easy to miss. But no one has missed each character's defining traits or call signs. Even if you haven't played the game, you've probably heard,
Heroes never die.
I've got you in my sights.
No one can hide from my sight.
to death. Hell, Hanzo's ultimate is mimetic enough on its own. But if I had to exercise some creative muscle to try and crack this nut, what Overwatch offers, to me, that no other game really offers, is a wellspring of water cooler moments in a game not named Skyrim. Hell, the player game was made for this sort of thing, to show off individual moments worthy of bragging rights. But the wealth of characters and abilities lends itself well to creating little stories to share around. One of my favourite moments is randomly charging and catching and killing a tracer just as they were getting revived, because I'm sure the person on the other end was laughing just as hard as I was. And I'm generally loath to join in single hero games, but when I was on a team of 4 Mays and we won, even though it came right down to the wire, I was crying and laughing in complete shock. Really, any time a game could have gone in anyone's favour was a sight to behold, win or lose. There is a wealth of these little moments, and any session I could get one made the game's asking price worth it on its own. And though I do think the game has its flaws, I think just tossing shade at it because an audience is interested in hearing about it would demean the value of what I'm actually saying. And if you're in that category, shame on you. So, Overwatch. No complaints, just things to improve upon. Number 1. Fix Pharah's controls. I'm sure it's fine on the keyboard, but playing Pharah on a controller requires you to twist your hand in so many different ways. In order to move, and aim, and shoot, and use your jetpack at the same time, you have to kinda hook your arm and shoot with your ring finger. I'm not sure if any game has nailed jetpack control on the controller, but Overwatch did not break that trend. Number 2. Give us more banter. Just before its official release were a whole bunch of very well animated shorts about a handful of the characters, and it led me to believe we'd get a lot of interplay between all the avatars. Unfortunately, both the amount of lines characters can say before a match and their frequency are startlingly low. Not only does it kind of betray the massive amount of lore the universe has, it just leads to less goofy comedy than I was hoping for. A Mortal Kombat X style trove of witty banter is sorely lacking. Number 3. Character balance. Now, I'm not talking about Bastion or Torbjorn. Anyone who says they're too difficult to get past isn't trying hard enough, especially with how lazy these players are getting in response. I am tempted to agree with everyone else when they say McCree's ult fire is too strong, but I don't know how you could fix that without simply taking it out. One point I can say for sure is that D.Va needs a buff. Nothing too strong, mind, just decrease the damage drop off over range so her boosters have the versatility they aspire to. I think I'm gonna get my wish though, so number 4. Cut down on the loot box shit. I was expecting costumes to be locked off behind paywalls, which would be bad enough in a full price game, but honestly, if you twisted my arm enough, I could probably be coerced into getting some of the better skins. But that's not even how it works. Every drop comes from these loot boxes with completely random contents, and there are only 2 ways to get them. Level up your rank, or buy some with real money. So even when you're spending real money, you can't choose what you want. You just have to hope you get it, or enough in-game coins to compensate. That's, let's be charitable and call that a high-risk strategy. Number 5. More maps. The number of characters is fine, but the amount of maps just feels a tiny teensy bit lacking. At least after 15 or so hours of dedicated play. If you can squeeze more modes in there as well, fine. If not, just put more capture the point maps in. The payload fetishization doesn't sit well with me, especially since no one likes to actually escort it. Which leads me to number 6. A server browser. All the game has right now is a quick play option, and while the netcode is mostly good, we tend to start getting random Koreans late into the night, which does make performance suffer in my neck of the woods. But that isn't even the issue. I can't keep track of how many dumbass teammates I've been saddled with, and leaving a game, trying to join a different one only to come back to the same one shouldn't be happening at all. I know the obvious solution to that would be to say, fuck randoms, just play with friends. But that's a tiny bit difficult. That said, getting friends is on my list of things to improve upon in my life, but much like game development, it's easier said than done when you get down to it. So I've had a blast with Overwatch. It ruined my life for a week and I couldn't have been happier. Not that I'm any more eager to bite into more multiplayer experiences, but I can see myself coming back to this one time and time again over the coming months, unless they add hats. I was neutral on the hats in TF2 for a while, but no, fuck hats. Interesting tactic on Neon Falcom's part though. One of the two is a member of the nobility, the other hates nobles, and the latter is portrayed as the more insensitive party. You can't sway me, Falcom. Good, bad, he's the guy with the gun. But it's not like I was disinterested either. No game with a reference to Oingo Boingo is gonna slip by me. At least I think the title is a shout out to Oingo Boingo. Usually I don't talk about them because, well, this is a video review, the footage itself suffices. You'll have to excuse me, I wasn't prepared for how fucking original that plot twist was.